Alright, dude, here we go. One more toke. Gotta get that wake and bake on. Okay. Idiot hype. Here we go.
This place holds many mysteries, but few answers.
Stop there! Who are you?
One who would be your guide. Tell me, what do you remember from before?
My general. A fierce battle. And then I was imprisoned in darkness.
But now, you are free.
What are you?
Come, there is much I would show you, to prepare you for the challenges that lie ahead.
Hype, dude. Fucking hype, dude.
This place... so strange. Where are we?
Where is less important than when. Many thousands of years ago, when our world was young. Azeroth was home to the ancestors of dragons. Primitive beasts ruled by primal instincts. Yet, there were a few in whom the spark of intelligence was lit, who thought, spoke, and felt more deeply than the rest.
What does this have to do with me?
Were it not for them, your people would not be. From these proto-dragons, there arose the monster, Galakrond. Whose insatiable hunger would have consumed us all. When the fate of our kind was at stake, we five overcame the instincts of fear and self-preservation and united to battle the Leviathan.
We? So, you were one of these?
For our bravery, risking everything to save the world, we were granted a gift of the Titans, transformed into something greater. Together, we became the Aspects, leaders of the Dragon Flights, the protectors of Azeroth. In time, we took on visages like this to better commune with the younger races.
Why have you shown me this?
I am Nosdormu. I was aspect of the Bronze Flight. It is my fate to see all of time. But now a threat to our world approaches. An ancient enemy has returned. You will play a part in the events to come, and you will have to make a difficult choice, as we did.
I am not like you.
No. My story is already written, but yours, and that of all Drakthir, is only beginning to unfold.
I am not like you.
All of time. But now a threat to our world approaches. An ancient enemy has returned. You will play a part in the events to come, and you will have to make a difficult choice, as we did.
I am not like you.
No. My story is already written, but yours, and that of all Drakthir, is only beginning to unfold.
So good, dude. So good. So good, dude. Knew it would be good. Knew it would be good. Dude.
The Dragonflight pre-expansion. Welcome to the World of Warcraft survival guide for the Dragonflight pre-expansion patch, the next major content update coming to World of Warcraft. I'm Hazel.
I'm Nagura.
And I'm Sidhu. We'll be your guides as you return to Azeroth to experience the prologue events of Dragonflight, take your first steps on the Dragon Isles, and meet an all-new race and class, the Drakthir Evoker.
The pre-patch will be coming in 2 parts. The first phase is starting soon, and the second phase will follow a few weeks after. The first phase introduces a fresh new talent design for all classes, expanded class choices, an updated user interface, rated solo shuffle and PvP, and newly free barbershop services. When you log into the Dragonflight pre-expansion patch, you're going to see an all-new talent system for every class. Whether you're a fearsome druid, a deadly hunter, or a demonic warlock, your class talents have been redesigned from the ground up to give you more choices in how you play your character than ever before. all characters' talents have been reset, so you can get started selecting spells and abilities, and you can now save your selections, share them, and import talent loadouts right there in the talent window. Dragonflight is going to include a maximum character level of 70, so don't forget that 10 more levels and 10 more talent points are coming with the launch of Dragonflight. For the talent system, everyone will log in with a preset starter build so they don't have any interruptions to their gameplay, but they can re-customize it and create loadouts to suit their playstyle. Along with the updated talent systems, 3 classes are now available to all races. Any race can now be a mage, a priest, or a rogue. Yes, at long last, you're free to be a Tauren mage, or an orc priest, or a Draenei rogue. I'm especially looking forward to seeing all of the High Mountain Tauren rogues. Or not seeing them. They've got this.
The user interface has seen a major update, and it now includes a fully customizable heads-up display. You can select Edit Mode in the game menu to bring up the full range of options for every element on the screen. And that includes a couple of default presets that you can choose to make your layout a crisp new modern look, or switch back to the classic look you know and love. The UI update comes with several new accessibility features, including additional options for targeting and interacting with game elements, and additional support for gamepad-type controllers. The pre-expansion patch is a PvP off-season, but player versus player action is in full swing. In addition to an updated talent system and PvP talents for all classes, you can now queue for rated solo shuffle. If you haven't tried solo shuffle yet, it's a PvP brawl available in the PvP Finder, and you don't need a group to join. Previously, there was no PvP rating considered, but now, the rated version of Solo Shuffle is available, so you can solo queue and find out what it's like to join teammates and take on opponents who are closer to your skill level. If you find yourself in a solo shuffle with me, good luck, you're gonna need it. If you're a frequent customer at the barbershop, we have some great news. The services in World of Warcraft are now free to all players. The barbershop used to cost some gold, but that's no longer the case. You can hit the randomize appearance button like crazy, try out your new look, and if you realize you don't like it, come back and try something different for free.
In the second phase of the pre-expansion patch, you'll create and start leveling a new race, the Drakthir. An ancient race of humanoid dragonkin, the Drakthir are shapeshifters, who go from a draconic form to a humanoid visage and back, as they wield the magic of all 5 dragonflies. You'll start in a newly rediscovered Forbidden Reach, where long ago, Drakthir trained as soldiers of Neltharion, before you move on to join either the Alliance or the Hordes. All Drakthir characters belong to a new hero class, the Evoker. Evokers were a male and choose between 2 specializations, Devastation and Preservation. The Devastation Evoker is a ranged magic-using damage dealer who focuses on the powers of the red and blue dragonflies, while the Preservation Evoker is a healer who calls upon the abilities of the bronze dragonfly to manipulate time, as well as the magic of the green dragonfly to heal. Evokers use a new type of spell called Empower. By holding down a button, you'll charge up a spell, causing it to do more damage or hit more targets. After a spell has been fully empowered, you have a little time to keep holding it and release it when you're ready. And after a few seconds, if you're still holding it fully empowered, the spell will cast automatically. Also coming soon, pre-expansion events will start with the max level revamp of the Uldaman dungeon and the arrival of elemental storms in select zones. The storms infuse local creatures with additional powers, making primalist world bosses appear. And as you know, invading elementals and primalists must be defeated.
The Dragonflight pre-expansion patch is coming soon, and then shortly after, you'll be able to create your own Drakthir Evoker and fight back the invading storms. Keep an eye on worldofwarcraft.com for more on this and other upcoming content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
Holding down a button, you'll empowered. The storms infuse local creatures with additional powers, making a max level revamp of the Uldaman dungeon, and the events will start with the max level revamp. Also coming soon, pre-expansion events will start with the max level revamp of the Uldaman dungeon and the arrival of elemental storms in select zones. The storms infuse local creatures with additional powers, making primalist world bosses appear. And as you know, invading elementals and primalists must be defeated.
The Dragonflight pre-expansion patch is coming soon, and then shortly after, you'll be able to create your own Drakthir Evoker and fight back the invading storms. Keep an eye on.
Oh yeah, dude. Just gonna watch some of these videos here, and then we're gonna get into some checking out the new talent systems and stuff.
Free patch is here finally.
It's going to happen, and
One
not
step
everything is
closer.
available though.
No, not everything is available, but we are getting one step closer to the actual launch of Dragonflight, and there are things you should do and you should know about all of the madness that is surrounding the pre-patch, and we got it all nicely listed up here.
Oh, yeah.
To be, I hope, helpful to get you going, especially if you really want to go like deep into Dragonflight and, you know, start doing some keys or start doing your raiding with your guild or finding somebody to do all these activities and whatnot. But not only that, because there's other things to be done as well, right?
Oh yeah, basically if you are starting out in your journey into prepping your character for Dragonflight, or maybe you're switching to an alt and you want to make sure that everything is smooth sailing, what is it that you can and should do in these couple of weeks, a month until the expansion release?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a month-ish up until the actual launch, and I would say a month and 2 weeks until season 1 starts. So you have to be all prepped up. Now let's kick it. First things first with the pre-patch.
The most obvious.
Yeah, the user interface, baby. So we have like the user interface and the new talents. Obviously, we're going to talk about the UI first because
it's gonna hit you in the face. It's like right there.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that you will see with your eyes in your eye sockets.
And with the splash screen, because the splash screen will tell you, hey, new UI, hey, let's customize.
Splash screen.
It's been a long time since, you know, they should have added this a long time ago, but now you can basically move around everything. Remember that add-on move anything that will let you do?
And that was so buggy too, man. And this is, I don't know, they never did any UI, like graphical UI overhaul,
never.
visual UI overhaul. They did menu overhaul, and there's also a menu overhaul. You'll see the settings, and we're not gonna talk about that because what's important, you have a search function that you can search for all of the things that you want in terms of your like anything, settings, graphical, audio, action bars and stuff, and then you get to the UI, man. What can they change with the UI?
I mean, you can change the positions of everything on your screen. Basically, everything can be changed and placed around everywhere. You can add up to, I think, like 8 action bars all over the place. Also customizable as well. Flame mentioned the search function, like when you go into your like settings or whatever, and if you want to like activate target plates or I don't know, some sort of like class coloring for your party frames or whatever, you can use the search bar over there, and it's so much easier because the placements and the locations of all of the settings have been changed as well, so it's much easier to navigate because of that. There'll still be add-ons activated, so you can still install add-ons. We still use a lot of add-ons for everything that we do, chorus and thread plates and platers and stuff like that. But in terms of like actually customizing everything, you can basically like get rid of the griffins, arrange all of your interface the way you want to. You can enable your grid to have it snap to every like pixel, so you know all your OCD boys.
It's kind of like has budget LVUI setups, but increases more on what we used in SUI, so it's kind of like a blend between the two. It probably does what bartender used to do as well, and we don't know exactly the compatibility of this with all of the other add-ons, and that is the next thing that you probably should work in the next couple of weeks is to get your add-ons up and ready, because the UI being changed, some add-ons might not, you know, be compatible. It depends on how the authors update their own work, so you'll have to use CurseForge, for instance, to see what the current version of the add-ons that you want to use and if they match with the pre-patch version and if they're compatible, if they're working properly, because you might even get rid of some of them. I mean, we know we are. Probably, I don't know if SUI will do anything. I mean, it'll probably, if Santa upgrades it, then maybe we'll have the darkened things because we kind of like the dark borders. But outside of that, pretty much everything looks really, really sweet. And the next thing that you should probably 100% do is check the talents out.
Yeah, check the talents. So, but before that, we have one piece of advice. So be sure to have, I don't know if you've done this already, but the WTF and interface folders from your current WoW, be sure to save that somewhere, because the interface will contain like some of the settings for your add-ons, right? So you're gonna have a lot of things there, and also on the WTF. And again, in some places of the interface, you're gonna have your saved settings for weak auras and stuff like that. If you're gonna go into the pre-patch, the weak auras will not be as customized as you had them maybe in Shadowlands. So that's very important, okay? Now let's talk about the talents.
The talents, I mean, if you followed our content for the last couple of months, we pretty much talked about every spec a bunch of times with the new talents. We didn't really talk about builds because, you know, those are still being iterated upon. There are a lot of theory crafters and sims being done and APL works and stuff like that. So the first that you probably will do is you log in and you'll see that you'll have already a starter build selected by default. It's probably not gonna be the best, who knows, but what you could do is, until we, you know, have some guides ready for you, you can actually check the class discourse for every spec, because I think every spec so far has builds pinned. Yeah. People talk about builds, the raid builds, because, you know, everything, we're gonna talk about the content as well. But you want to, you know, you can obviously test it out. Maybe that's the beauty of the talents. You can actually mix and match talents. You can look at our videos after you've done with this one to see like what kind of talents are good, what's buffed, what's nerfed, what options you have and what they do. But you can definitely explore this on your own, and that's probably the cool part of it. But if you just want to hop into the content, you need to know the builds, and you have to check the class discourse for that.
Yeah, or you can also check Wowhead. I'm pretty sure like at this point you have all of the class guides ready for pre-patch, so you're gonna have some loadouts over there. And this is one of the cool things. Once you like make a specific build for the talents you have, you can save that as a loadout, and you can load it in a future date, save another one, or import one. I know on Wowhead, all of the guide writers have listed there the code to import for the builds for M+ or rating or whatever. It's there, so it's super easy to just get going, no problem. Well, there's like you have to know, like right now, since it's pre-patch, you're level 60 still, so you're gonna be missing 5 talent points from the general class tree and 5 talent points from the spec talent tree. Okay, so you're not like completely fully built, but once again, it's there for you to explore and play around with and test out. And once you are familiar with it, you can check out some of the builds recommended if you want to like still do some content. Let's talk about what is kind of going away and not. So tier sets, legendaries, and covenants. Now tier sets, the ones we know,
the bonuses that we have are gone. They're gone 100%, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and that's what we're gonna talk about right now, because the new talents will have tier set bonuses baked into them. You'll notice stuff like, you know, the Warlock has a tier set in.
Red Paladin has it.
There you go.
Yeah, Fury Warrior. There's
some of them nerf, some of them buff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Tier sets and covenant abilities as well. You're gonna find them all spread out between the specs and classes. Okay, so this is like kind of I guess understood that you will not have them activated, but they will be active in the Shadowlands zones. That's gonna be
the covenants, the conduits, all of that is still gonna work. You can still visit your covenant. You can do all of that stuff. You'll still get bonuses from your conduits, and this is where the builds might become wacky because conduits as well for certain specs have made it into the talent tree. We don't know right now if they stack. For instance, you have the same conduit in your covenants, and then the same mechanic as a talent. If you pick both, I don't know if the procs or anything like that will stack. This is the time where everything is going to be crazy, and you're gonna have to deal with it and accept it. That's fine.
And we love it.
It's not going to be how it's going to be when the expansion releases. It's just stupid fun. Hopefully it's crazy fun, and some specs will probably be overpowered, and some specs will cry because the last 5 talents will actually complete their build. But with that out of the way, tier sets are gone. Legendaries, as far as I know, will still work in the pre-patch.
They will come pre-patch.
We don't know exactly when the Dragonfly releases, if they're going to be disabled. Probably.
I think think so. I think that they'll disable it because as similar to tier sets and covenant abilities, some of the legendaries are in the actual talent trees, the spec talent trees. So that will definitely be something that they will be removing as we're going to go into Dragonfly. Probably still work in the Shadowlands content, but let's be real. Who's going to go back to Shadowlands? I don't know.
Time walking.
No. It's fine. But yeah, it's gonna be some weird stuff with the actual legendaries still working in the pre-patch and some of the legendaries baked into the talents. It's all for testing and grabbing, which
it's crazy. It's crazy time, man. Let's burn this expansion some crazy time and do some proper content.
It's pre-patch, man. It's pre-patch. But I guess for a lot of you out there, it's really important to be as prepared and as geared up as possible once Dragonflight releases, because I guess it would be ideal to have like the best possible gear you could have when you go out leveling. You have to remember that if you have like a brand new character, or if you're like coming back from, I don't know, season 3 or 2 from Shadowlands, you're gonna be at an item level that will, I will not say it will cause problems, but it'll be as a disadvantage.
I mean, we've played the beta. There's clearly a difference between, you know, what if you're boosting a character, if you bought the Dragonflight and you have the boost, or if you're leveling something new, it'll likely be around 180, 200 eye level at the very max going into the leveling process of Dragonflight. And that's fine because that's where the quests start to give you item rewards, and maybe that's cool. Some people like to get into that.
Wait, what did he say? I missed that.
You have like a brand new character, or if you're like, I guess it would be ideal to have like the best possible gear you could have when you go out leveling. You have to remember that if you have like a brand new character, or if you're like coming back from, I don't know, season 3 or 2 from Shadowlands, you're gonna be at an item level that will, I will not say it will cause problems, but it'll be as a disadvantage.
I mean, we've played the beta. There's clearly a difference between, you know, what if you're boosting a character, if you bought the Dragonflight and you have the boost, or if you're leveling something new, it'll likely be around 180, 200 eye level at the very max going into the leveling process of Dragonflight. And that's fine because that's where the quests start to give you item rewards, and maybe that's cool. Some people like to get into that and, you know, feel like the quest rewards are impactful. But if you just want to hit the ground running and you want to get to that end game really quick and farm all the renowns and get ready for the raid and all of that, then what you need to do is definitely be prepared for the content that we're going to have, which is all of the raids will be fated. We'll have access to all 3 raids at the same time, and all of the fated mechanics are still going to be in place. You'll still have dinars, you can buy gear with dinars, you can upgrade gear.
You're gonna get more dinars because everything's gonna be available. So you're gonna have that accelerated as well. Like if you want to get your gavel, or if you want to get, I don't know, your effigy trinket, or the first one's trinket, or whatever, now is the time to do so, to have everything. Because let's be real, in the first phase of the pre-patch, there's not much stuff really you can do aside from explore, you know, the new features within the game.
Let's play with the talents, get the builds.
Yeah, that's it. But you have all of this content still available, you know, dungeons as well. The fated raids, you can still do that because the vault will still be active. So you will be able to get some really nice gear, get to maybe close to 300 item level, and be a little bit ahead once Dragonflight launches. Because again, not much is to do. I mean, you can still...
I mean, the dungeons are still there. The Season 4 Mythic Plus dungeon pool is still the same.
Yeah, still
and
can get
Valor
your
still
KSM.
works. Yeah, so basically, you can get your KSM mount. You can get... with the dragon, with the Slime Cat mount, you can also get that.
Oh, yeah.
And you can get it like all in 1 week, I think, because all of the raids being available, you have a lot of bosses being available to do on the first week. What is it, like 30-ish bosses?
There's a lot of us, the 30-something. So there's a lot of content to be done. And I think for the most part, it's gonna be really cool to actually like jump into one boss and then into another boss if you like want to like skip ahead or whatever. If you're PvPing, obviously solo queue is going to be active over there. You're gonna have rated solo shuffle.
Solo shuffle, man. We've been asking this for years,
and it's rated right off the back, so you can get it. You can get into it and see how it works. There's gonna be some fun and I would say controversial happenings over there.
Controversial metas,
but
understatement.
It's there for everybody to try out. Because again, guys, up until the 15th of November, and that's when the second phase of the pre-patch will launch, there's not much you can do content-wise.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I know that a lot of you guys have asked us this in the comments and in the stream. The main shower is gonna be gone for the pre-patch phase. It's going to come back once the Dragonfly releases, but I know a lot of people wanted to test out the main shower with the new talents. Unfortunately, you can only do that during the Dragonflight expansion and not in the pre-patch, probably because the craziness of the pre-patch. I don't know, maybe they still want to balance it. Maybe it's only available at level 70. However, in pre-patch, it's not going to be there.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's not going to be available. They'll probably announce once it's available again in Dragonflight.
Yeah.
I'm thinking once, a little bit after Season 1 starts, but we'll see. This is all speculation at this point. What isn't speculation, though, is the second phase of the pre-patch, which I know a lot of people were kind of...
I really need to do my dishes because I had to cook dinner in like an hour. So I'm gonna go finish watching this on my phone through my stream while I do the dishes. Let me find something else for it to roll into. Alright, I'll be right back.
disappointed because of this, because first of all, the drag tier and subsequently, the evoker class is going to become available on the 15th.
Only on the 15th.
And I don't know what to say about this.
It's a little bit weird in the context of what our pre-patch is supposed to be doing for the overall game, because let's say somebody wants to main an evoker, we can talk about, high-end mythic guilds trying to, switch their roster to test out the evoker and bring it into the raids, or simply people just wanting to test out the new class and have fun. When all of this, the raids being enabled and dungeons being enabled and all that, you cannot do it unless only in the last 2 weeks. Plus, you're gonna have to level it, which is not that bad. I think you start at 58, and then you level up to 60. That's when you get the new zone as well. But that is when that becomes available, and also Uldaman will be available.
Yes, the first dungeon, I would say the rerouting of Uldaman that is in Dragonflight.
The third version of it, right?
Yeah, will be available on the 15th of November. Grant is gonna be on normal, I believe, at least in the pre-patch. So
that's what we have on the PTR.
Yeah, but
so
I think it's a good way for folks to get familiar with it and get some gear out of that as well. Again, if you haven't done all of your plethora of fated raids during the first 2 weeks of the pre-patch or whatever, then sure, you can go in here in Uldaman. I guess this is like content for you guys. Drag tier, as you mentioned, their zone is pretty amazing as well, the leveling zone. So if you're thinking about maining it or whatever, that is the perfect time to explore and just level it up. It's beautiful, I tell ya. And also there's the events, the pre-patch events, for I think since Legion, maybe. No, pre-patch events were always a thing.
The invasion style.
The invasion style, events were kind of from Legion, and this is very similar to that. It's the Primal Storms, which basically will have element invasion in different zones of Azeroth. Okay, so you're gonna have Earth elemental invasions in Northern Barrens. You're gonna have fire invasions in Trisfall Glades, storm invasion in Ongoro Crater, and a water elemental invasion in the Badlands.
Yeah, it kind of happens on a 30-minute time period where the elemental lord starts. The way you do it is we couldn't test it out because they enabled it for 30 minutes and the servers crashed, so we couldn't really test it out. We might not have proper footage for it, but what's interesting is the way it works is you go there and you have to slay 100 mobs, normal trash, and then you can actually target the elemental lord. And all of this drops a currency called a Primeval Essence, and that's what you use to buy eye level 252 gear, which is catch-up gear. It's not, it's not 300 level what we have now, but this is good for, for your evoker, for your alt. If you don't really care about, doing the Mythic Plus and the Fated Raids, you can definitely do this. And 252 is more than enough to hit the ground running in Dragonflight, because I think that lasts you for until about level 64, 65. Because that's when the quest will start to reward the equivalent
better gear. Also, if you're I know you're interesting, but if you're also interested in this event, you have to remember with this Primeval Essence, in order for you to get that gear, you can get it either from Stormwind Docks, or in Bladefist Bay on the Zeppelin Inventor, right?
Yeah, the Storm Inventor is right at the Borealis dock side, and the one is the Zeppelin dude that's gonna take you eventually to Dragonfly.
Yeah, it is the guy. So if you want to get that gear, it's looking pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. For actual pre-patch gear, it's looking cool. At least the plate one.
Yeah,
is looking
the sets
very
are
good.
nice. I'm so for this more medieval fantasy
more
style, and
simplistic a bit, right?
not Final Fantasy style.
Well,
gear,
you're gonna see the tier sets. So those big yellow things going out.
Those
it's amazing.
elemental shower animations into a gear. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. See, the event also can get you the Bag of Furious Winds, which is a new toy. You're gonna have a heirloom trinket as well, unstable elemental confluence. I guess since we didn't test it that much on paper, it doesn't seem too much. They haven't posted the pre-patch event still to be tested out, so we'll have to see. But hey, if it's not going to be tested out, then might as well just explore and be surprised at what's going to happen on the 15th of November. But overall, this is like all the things you kind of need to do
The
and
short
need to
and
know
sweet
about.
list.
Yeah, for the pre-patch. Once again, there's like I know some people asked about professions and stuff that's not gonna be available up until Dragonfly launches, so don't worry too much about it. Other than that, if you want to get ready for whatever is to come in Dragonflight and want to chew on that content as best as you can, then be sure to still hit those fader rates, hit down the Zen Plus. You can still get your KSM out. You can still get some awesome loot like the gavel from jail, the Scars trinket and maybe the Anduin ring as well. There's still a lot of good gear to be had, and to have that getting into Dragonflight, right? It's better.
It's gonna make you blast, man. Gonna make you blast and get to level 70.
Yes, blast it, and it's gonna make you have an easier time, right? So you're gonna be better prepared to get into Dragonflight, and then you're gonna start off going into the other stuff that you have to do within the expansion to get ready for season 1. But that's a different video. That's later on. So tell us what you think. Are you excited? Is this the moment you've been waiting for? Is it New Year's Eve? Happy New Year, Flame!
It's close. It's close. Tell us what you're gonna do. Are you gonna be a raider, a dungeoner, or simply are gonna do the events? We're excited that the pre-patch is here and everything is coming in. It's finally happening. We're going away.
Yes.
Leave each other behind.
Thank you, Patreons, for supporting the content. Without you guys, there will not be us over here. So big shout out to all of the Patreons supporting this type of content.
You're like our parents.
Yeah, but yeah, if you take care of us and you give us love.
Can I have
and
some
food.
allowance?
It's all good. So check the Patreon link in the description if you want to join. Thank you for watching the video. We shall see you soon with some brand new useful and informative stuff. Bye-bye!
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /vow. Still, I play WoW.
Hey folks, this is Kalani with the Dragonflight expansion just around the corner. I keep getting asked the same question over and over again. Which classes look good? Who has the best talent trees? Who's coming out on top? Which classes got nerfed too much? What is the best class in Dragonflight so far? And while that is an incredibly loaded question, we've done our best to try and answer it. So here's what we think. The top 3 classes going into Dragonflight and the class that we think beats all others. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Alrighty, we're going to start with number 3 and work our way up to the best class in Dragonflight. The third best class to play in Dragonflight, in our opinion, is going to be the Hunters. Hunters are almost hands down the single best class for solo content and for ease of play. They're relatively straightforward, they have so many fantastic options for simply staying alive or avoiding damage, and they can kick out a lot of damage while having full mobility for the most part. There's a reason why Hunters usually get assigned to mechanics in raids, is because they can handle them so well without sacrificing any damage, especially if you're rocking the Beast Mastery specialization. But a lot of the solo potential comes down to their pet. No matter which spec you choose, you have the option of working alongside your trusty pet companions. There are so many options in the general talent tree that buff up your pet, or just let you keep it alive for way longer in every scenario. So whether you're soloing a tough elite out in the world, working through old raids, or just doing some lazy questing, having your pet take all of the aggro and being able to easily keep your pet alive and to redirect your aggro onto your pet as well, it makes everything so easy. Not only are they raid mechanic gods and solo content heroes, they're going to bring a lot to the table, no matter which spec you decide to run. They have good mobility, strong defensive cooldowns, a rather unique immunity, a single target stun with your pet, an AoE stun with binding shot. They can also sort of stealth, and they can allow your group to ignore line of sight briefly, which is a bit interesting. And then they also bring a nice amount of burst AoE damage almost no matter which spec you decide to go. So that's the kind of general stuff a hunter is going to bring to the table, but what about specializations? Well, Beast Mastery has changed quite a bit, but it keeps the same kind of flavor and playstyle. You have your main pet, you can talent for an additional pet, and you can talent further for summoning more and more beasties to your side to ravage your foes. There are a few different ways to build a Beast Mastery hunter. You can focus on empowering your favorite pet as much as possible, or you can work on summoning an entire zoo to show everyone who the true Beastmaster is. They have great single target potential, very strong AoE burst and sustained damage thanks to some of the changes, and they're shaping up to be a very powerful spec overall. Thanks to the huge focus on their pets, Beast Mastery Hunters are also probably the single best solo content spec in the game, so whether you want an easier time questing or grinding mobs or working on some older content, you can't really beat a Beast Mastery Hunter. Now, Marksmanship keeps many of the same tools and options as previous expansions. They're just going to be slapped into the talent tree instead, so if you've played an MM Hunter recently, you know how this goes. Wind up those huge aimed shots to chunk your foe's health, and trick shot them to hit multiple targets while rapid firing off a sweet chain of attacks. They have good burst, great cleave potential, and they have so many different tools to pick and choose from. It's going to be fun making and playing around with different talent builds for different situations. They aren't quite as mobile as Beast Mastery Hunters, but when you get the hang of aimed shots and their timing, it's really not too bad. An interesting point for marksmanship is that they do typically prefer to not use a pet with the lone wolf talent, so if the pet management isn't something you like, or you just prefer to be a lone ranger with your trusty bow or gun, marksman fills that role quite nicely. But you do always have the option of calling a pet out just in case you need that extra help or extra tankiness while dealing with something out in the world. And then survival is a bit of a wild card, as survival has been since the changeover to being a melee. You're up close and personal with a staff or pointy stick, and you have lots of bombs to throw around. It can be a lot of fun and quite satisfying when you see the numbers.
I'm playing every class, dude. I'm gonna start with my druid though, because that's gonna be my main.
Strong burst with mongoose bite stacks. I think both marksmanship and beast mastery will probably be the better spec choices overall. They're shaping up quite a bit better, and they have more reliable damage. But the great thing about survival is that it does give you that melee option. Sometimes you want to get up close and personal when stabbing your enemies with a long pointy stick, and you get to hang out with your pet in melee too. But sometimes you really need that ranged option, whether it's a certain mythic plus affix or maybe a particularly nasty raid boss. Having the option of melee and ranged on one character is always a huge advantage, so that's another reason why hunters pull ahead of some other classes right now. So if you're looking for an easy class to play with great results for all types of content,
Number 2,
powered spells, you can charge them up overall. One of the major selling points of the Evoker class is that they are the new kid on the block. We brand new class coming in the Dragonflight expansion, and they've definitely earned their spot on this list. They're very fun to play, they have some new mechanics, and a lot of flavor and fantasy overall. One of the major selling points of the Evoker class is that they are the new kid on the block. We haven't had a new class since Demon Hunter.
I'm definitely gonna be playing Evoker like a motherfucker, dude. Like, I really like Mage, like Fire Mage, so I'm sure I'm gonna love Evoker. So that'll probably be, I mean, everybody's gonna be playing it, obviously, but I'm gonna be the best, like, ever, so.
Hunters were introduced back in
And
Legion,
third will
so
be,
it's been a
what,
while
Druid?
since we've this time around. Druids are the single most flexible class in World of
See?
Warcraft.
Druid
They're
did.
the only class in the game that can play as any role. They can tank, heal, melee DPS, and range DPS. They can do it all. So with so many changes coming through in Dragonflight, this also means that Druids get a lot of updates to work with, thanks to having 4 specializations. And I can say that at least 3 of the 4 specs are looking good going into Dragonflight, with interesting and varied talent trees to work with and play around with. Let's start with a balance spec. Boomkins have a great set of tools in their
Boomkin is what I usually main, but I'm really considering going Feral this time because I like that playstyle. I'll play them both. I'll play all 4 specs. I play all the specs on all my classes. And
all this time around.
I play all the classes, so I play all the specs and all the classes. And I'm gonna do all the professions. I'm gonna know life is shit at WoW, essentially.
Fantastic changes in their spec talent tree. Out of every borrowed power system and feature that we've had over the last few expansions, it seems like Boomkin's got the vast majority of their really strong and popular powers. We have Arcanic Pulsar, a balance of all things, Power of Goldrin, Rattle the Stars and Starweaver, we've got Starlord, and then even Convert. Playstyle you prefer, druids have something for everyone, and most of their specs are interesting and fun. And with Dragonflight being such a breath of fresh air, I'm actually very excited to play a class that has so many options, and that's why our best class for Dragonflight are the druids. And there we have it, the best classes in Dragonflight so far in our opinion, and why. Would you agree with us based on what you know or what you've played in the beta? Are there any other classes that you think deserve to be on this list? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and everyone subscribed on Twitch. You can see the names flitting by on screen. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching folks, go out and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh god. Oh god. Wow, dude. I didn't even hit it that hard. Something about hitting it and standing up and walking over to the door to blow it out there causes it to get deeper in there or something. But then I get really stoned after too, so I can't complain too much. I don't think I'll be in the next WoW video as a content creator, basically. Ooh. All right, enough dicking around. Let's launch the game. Man. Okay, maybe not. I've already seen this, but I kind of want to watch it again.
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers. Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then, you must light the beacon of Tearhold lest the path home be lost to us forever.
$10,000 years later. Aww. Sorry, I hate how it pauses, dude. I just want to make myself a little smaller. Wake up, land. Wake up. It's time to go. That shit wasn't made to support such a big creature, dude. This is why I still believe in Blizzard, dude. I hope they come back, dude. Their policies change, and they become a good company again. Because they still have passion in there somewhere.
The world is healing. But her fate is yet uncertain. Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
Still get emotional. I've already seen that shit like 3 times and I'm like tearing up and stuff. Wow, I didn't realize the servers were offline. I thought I could get on it anytime I wanted. Three PM. I guess we go back to Classic then. Hell yeah. Oh, I gotta check my auctions real quick, dude. Can't just not check my auctions. Shift head. That's my druid's name. Shift. Oh, sorry, I'm streaming, so I'm supposed to like talk to people or something? People that aren't here? Or interacting, whatnot? I'm talking to my guild in guild chat. Man, I can't even play Dragonflight until 3 did. How much am I supposed to take my fishing up to here? I think it's like 320. Yeah, 320. And then we go to Howling Fjord finally. Nice. Like somebody just said it got delayed by 3 hours. Okay, well, yeah, I'm just gonna do a Headless Horseman run real quick, and then I'm gonna go cook and eat dinner and come back and stream later. In my normal time, around 7 or 8. So if you want to hang out and watch that, that's cool. In the bike here chilling anyway. I didn't expect it to be. I just kind of wanted to get a video of me reacting to the shit and waking up and everything and checking out the talents and stuff, but it didn't happen, so I'm just gonna... I thought it was already live. I thought it was 3 Eastern it went live, but it was 6 Eastern it goes live, which is 3 p.m. my time, so that's 20 minutes from now, but now I'm hearing it's delayed by 3 hours, which I don't know if it's true. But I need to like chill and eat dinner with my husband anyway, so I'm gonna go do that. Feed my dogs, feed myself, take a shower, all that good stuff. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna jump into all this stuff and stream for like 9 hours. So, first I'm gonna do this Headless Horseman run. See if we get the sword that I've been trying to get. Go ahead and put my poison on my weapons and shit. I feel like they're not biting over here that well. I'm gonna go over here. Those lily pads, that's where they hit at, you know what I'm saying? Dude, it'd be really cool if they revamped fishing, dude, someday. This kind of shit is what we need. This is the kind of fishing we need, dude. Pick your lures. Different lures attract different fish. You gotta work the fish, you know what I'm saying? Work the reel. You gotta struggle and shit. Pull them in. So nice to be hit and expertise capped with no food, dude. No buffs. This is the pet I always use, dude. I need to get one of those things that lets you rename it. I'm gonna rename it to like, I don't know. What's he look like? Herman. He's a Herman.
It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now. The righteous one. Fit and pure. Now your blackened souls are pure. I smell. Now feel the get over here. Fit and pure. Now your blackened souls are pure. Soldiers arise. Stand and fight. Bring victory at last to this fallen knight. What new adventure lies in store?
Why does everyone automatically assume I know tailoring and cooking?
It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now. The righteous one. Fit and pure. Now your blackened souls are pure. It's you I smell. Now feel. Here's my box. Fit and pure. Now your blackened souls are pure. Soldiers arise. Stand and fight. Bring victory at last to this fallen knight. What new adventure lies in store? It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now. The righteous one. Now your blackened souls are pure. Now feel fit and pure. Now your blackened souls are pure. Soldiers arise. Stand and fight. Bring victory at last to this fallen knight. What new adventure lies in store? It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now. The righteous one. Fit and pure. Now your blackened souls are pure. I smell. Now feel the burn.
It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now. The righteous one. Now your blotted souls are cured! You I spurn! Now feel! Get over here, you idiot! Here's my body. Fit and pure! Now your blotted souls are cured! Soldiers arise! Stand and fight! Bring victory at last to this fallen knight! A new adventure lies in store.
Yes!
Okay, it's about time for me to go cook dinner. So, usually eat pretty early around here. So, I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be back in a bit. Peace out. No drops. 5 rings. Fuck you, game.